Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the special edition of Suno Tonight with Saadia Afzaal. Since the creation of Pakistan, a number of people time and again have raised their voices against a system under which Pakistan has been run, as this negates the very essence of why the country was created on the basis of an ideology. And we have forgotten the spirit why millions of people sacrificed their lives for. This is a rare moment in Pakistan's 77 years history that a man has come up with a unique idea for Caliphate. Under the recently launched manifesto of the Takmil-e-Pakistan movement, a plan has been presented to completely reform the existing system, under which government will be based on the Sharia principles of sovereignty of Allah and power for the people. The provisions in the present system inconsistent with the principles of Sharia shall be removed. It's a complete reform of the present system, where people will directly elect the Caliph or Khalifa nominated by the Shura. And under the patronage of the Caliph, the forces, government and system of justice will function. The Caliph will also have the power to appoint and dismiss all important officials, whereas head of ombudsman will have the authority to remove the Caliph in case of deviation from Islam. How this whole plan or manifesto can be implemented, how it is going to work for the welfare of the people of Pakistan, we'll discuss all this in detail with the man himself who has presented this plan, the chairman Takmil-e-Pakistan movement, Mr. Saad Nazir. Thank you very much, Mr. Saad Nazir, for joining us. First of all, when we look at all religious parties, they all have more or less been in favor of an Islamic state, a state which is not only run in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah, but a state which also works for its people, for the welfare of people. But nobody has ever presented such a plan. And you, I mean, not a typical Maulvi or Mullah as we all call them, how did you come up with this idea?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Saadia, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. First of all, we have to understand that the very foundation of Pakistan was built on the ideology of Islam. That is how different ethnicities and different nations, the Pathans, the Baloch, the Sindhis and the Punjabis, they came together under the flag of Islam. It was the need of the hour in this region of the subcontinent, where people wanted to live and we should respect public opinion, and the public opinion at that time was in favor of an Islamic ideology.
True.
Everyone wanted to live under the flagship of Islam in this region, and that's why they all came together. Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayh played a vital role. He himself was a product of Western education. Still, he respected the will of the people and he facilitated the union of people in this region, and they came together to form Pakistan in 1947.
Sure.
So if the foundation was laid on the principles of Islam, we cannot deviate from our original structure, we cannot deviate from our foundation. And that is why all of the ethnicities in this region came together. If we take out that ideology now from the whole curriculum or from the system of government, then the reason for formation of this country would be lost.
Okay.
And that is what the enemies of Pakistan want.
Okay.
They want that union to be dismissed, cannot allow that as a nation. And where Pakistan is standing right now, we have witnessed that the unity of command is lost and the system of government and governance has lost its value. And we are unable to perform the daily functions of the government or how the people should be governed. And as a result, a lot of resentment is being found in all the ethnicities. So we have to revive the original ideology on which the foundation was laid.
So basically, when we talk about Caliphate, this is not all Muslims or all Islamic countries coming under one banner of Caliphate. We are talking about one country. You want to implement this structure here, only in this country, right?
Right now we are only focused on Pakistan, and this is going to act as a model state for the rest of the world to follow.
Okay.
We believe that the practices established by Islam or the practices introduced by Islam are the best practices in the world for mankind, since they have been given to us by the creator of mankind. So they should be the best ones, which if we follow, and we will be able to create a harmony in the entire system of governance and how people perform their daily functions of life. And then we can introduce this model for the rest of the world to follow on their own. We cannot force it onto the world. We have to become a model state and practice it amongst us, and show the rest of the world a new way of life that they have missed on so far.
Okay, I've noticed one thing, that the day you announced this whole plan, a lot of people, they got alarmed. They are very wary of this new system which you're talking about, because what we have seen is whenever someone mentions an Islamic state or a caliphate, people imagine Abu Bakr Baghdadi, you know, a man who declared himself a caliph, and then he literally made people to obey him by force. So people think of flogging, stoning, or amputation of limbs, which is a very, very small fraction rather of punishments of hudud crimes. But how is this different? How the world is going to perceive this? What are you going to tell them, that this is not that Islamic state which the world has seen in the recent past?
First of all, Saadia, that state which was announced in that region, the Muslims of the world have never credited it as to be their own, and the practices adopted by them have never been seconded by any Muslim scholar of the world as they practice something different which has not been promulgated by Islamic ideology. We are discussing the ideology, the same ideology which was presented to the world by Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa sallam and his caliphs. If such episodes were found in the era of the Prophet or the caliphate of the famous caliphate of Khulafai Rashideen, then it would have been quoted today like you are quoting Baghdadi.
Yeah.
So since nothing of the sort was practiced in that era,
Yes.
so we cannot say that the practices of Baghdadi are the original practices or the requirement.
Yeah, true.
That was a misinterpretation of Islam, and many believe that all the agencies or enemies of Islamic ideology, they came together to form such an organization to give a bad name to Islamic ideology. So we have nothing of the sort. And the entire ideology comes from the time of the Prophet and the time of the Caliphate. And no one has to fear this system, because it will run on the will and popular public opinion.
Yeah,
And that is also what the Western world claims the essence of democracy is, that public opinion should be respected. We are respecting public opinion in a more professional manner, the way unity of command is maintained, and whatever decisions are taken at the top are implemented as well, and there are no hurdles created on the way of implementation.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Actually, I mean, we have seen our youth becoming literally, if I'm right to use this word, allergic to this term Islamic State. They don't know how to interpret this anymore. But when you say that we are going to respect public opinion, what do you mean by that? That they are going to directly elect their caliph, or you're going to go for a referendum for this, whether they want this system or not?
First of all, Saadia, we demand that the government should initiate a referendum for the people to decide whether they want to live under the ideology of Islam, which was the foundation of Pakistan, or whether they want to live under any other system, may it be the democratic system or any other system. So through referendum, we will find out what the public wants. And if the public wants the Islamic ideology, then again the system that we are proposing is again dependent on popular public will and demand, because a right of vote is being given to every individual to help select the right people at the top, including the assemblies, the National Assembly and the Provincial Assembly, and the guy at the top, you call it the president, you call it the caliph, you call it the Amir. This is the same system that is being followed in the West by Americans. So if they can exercise a right of direct vote for the selection of the president, why can't we utilize the same right for our people to select their Amir or Caliph? You have the independence of calling him whatever you want, whatever the public wants to call him. They might want to call him the president, they might want to call him the Caliph, they might want to call him the Amir. It's up to the state and the people what they want.
One last question. A lot of people who are currently part of this existing system will be out of their jobs. How are you going to get their support? Our political class, I mean. A lot of people in politics, so at the helm of affairs.
If politics of people is to serve people, then we will have a shortcoming of people. We will have to look for people who want to work for the people. If politics in Pakistan has been about filling their own pockets, then yes, they will lose their jobs.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Saad Nazir, Chairman Takmil-e-Pakistan Movement, for talking to us.
Jazakallah.